Welcome back, everyone, to another delicious episode here at Forever Acres Kitchen. Today, we're making pinchos. Oh, yeah. You can call them skewers, kabobs, what have you. Just call them good. Let's go. All right, so let's go ahead and get everything we need for the meat. So on the pork side, we're gonna need sazon, of course. We're gonna paprika. We need some oregano, cumin, and coriander. Also garlic powder, onion powder. We're also gonna use regular garlic. We're gonna have some mojo in it as well, salt, pepper. And also I put some mojo into a spray bottle that will spritz as we're cooking. And it also has about 4 ounces of apple cider vinegar. That's just gonna add a little bit of sweetness to it as well. Oranges for the pork. And then for the steak, we're gonna do garlic powder, onion powder, garlic, of course, and then rosemary and thyme, along with a little bit of the mojo as well. So first thing we wanna do is we wanna cut them up into cubes. That's why I kinda like buying the more whole cut pieces of beef. You can buy the ones that are already cut up, the stew beef. It's just, you're gonna find some pieces that are gonna be smaller than others. So I like kind of buying a whole steak like so and being able to cut them into nice sized pieces. I'm using top sirloin. Again, you can use different cuts of meat, but this is gonna be really, really good. And then for the pork, I'm using the country style ribs. Love that. So we're gonna get this all cut up and then we'll get the seasoning. All right, so let's get this beef cut up. Today I'm using my 10-inch Bearded Butcher's breaking knife. This is a great, great knife for thick cut of meat. Cuts like a dream. I love their knives. I've got the 8-inch boning knife as well that I like. So today I'm using the 10-inch breaking knife. So as you can see, the pieces of steak that I have, so I'm gonna cut these in half and then the cubes. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna cut that piece about 2 inches. So you want about an inch, inch and a half. You want nice, good sized pieces of meat. Yeah, it just cuts like butter. Love it, love these knives. Keep an eye on them, they're sharp. Pay attention. Last thing you want is a missing finger. All right, so now we got them all cut up. Nice sized pieces like that. Don't skimp, come on. Make them nice and big. So let's get these seasoned up. We'll start with our salt and pepper. Sorry about that noise. For the salt, I am using a 70-30 fine sea salt and kosher. So 30% kosher, 70% sea salt. Fine sea salt. Now pepper. Lots of good pepper. That's good pepper flavor in there. Go ahead and throw in our garlic. I am still using garlic powder as well. The garlic powder, especially the roasted one, just adds a little bit of sweetness to it, and I like it garlic heavy, so we'll use that. Onion powder. And as far as measurements on these, I mean, you can figure about a full teaspoon of each seasoning per piece of meat. You know, I like it very, very well seasoned. You want flavor, folks. You want flavor. Here's some thyme. Now the thyme, I would say probably half a teaspoon of thyme per, you don't want too much thyme. And then some of your rosemary. I need to start mixing it. You don't have to put on gloves, but I'm really gonna get in here, so I wanna put some gloves on. And I wanna do this part before I add the mojo, just because I really wanna make sure everything is nicely coated and incorporated into the meat, and then I'll add that mojo juice. Garlic and the rosemary and thyme just smells fantastic. All right, now we'll add in that mojo juice. Just like that. Give it a nice gentle toss. Don't splash yourself. And we're gonna cover this up and we're gonna put it in the fridge at least 2 hours, but I'm doing overnight. I want maximum flavor and tenderness in this steak. So I'm gonna put this in the fridge. All right, so now let's get into the pork. All right, so with the pork, there are gonna be some pieces that you're gonna wanna trim up, some fat, that you see there, like so. So you wanna trim that off. The beef was pretty lean, so I didn't have to do it with the beef, but I am gonna have to do it with the pork. Clean knife, of course. Trim that. Now these don't have to go to waste. You can fry these up and make chicharrones with that. So I'm not gonna get rid of them. Same thing, you want nice, good sized cuts. All right, so same thing here. Let's get the seasoning. Start with the salt and pepper. Garlic. 2 packets of sazon. I'll add the other one in a minute. Let me toss this around first. Roasted garlic powder. Onion powder. Cumin. Coriander. Smoked paprika. Regular paprika is fine too if you can't find smoked. Sometimes it can be difficult. Mexican oregano. Kind of crush and bite with your hand as you're putting it in. Okay, let me toss this first before I add the other packet of sazon. Okay, definitely gonna need it. Look at that beautiful color. It's gonna be so nice. All right, now we'll add in the mojo juice and the orange juice. Need to rinse off my hands. Now the orange juice. That is going to be so delicious. All right, same thing. Cover it up, 2 hours minimum, but we're going overnight. All right, so it's been 24 hours. We have the meat marinated, ready to put on skewers. I'm gonna let these get to room temperature before I do that. And then I've got all these vegetables that I need to cut up. I got 2 red onions, 2 white onions, green peppers, 2 of those, 2 yellows, and 2 reds. And so I'm gonna cut these up into nice sized pieces as well, and then we'll skewer these up. But just look at how awesome that turned out. Oh man, look at the color. Just soaked up all that mojo. Same over here. That beautiful color from the sazon. These are going to come out fantastic. All right, let's get to cutting up these vegetables. All right, so for the onions, go ahead and get you good size onions like that. You want big onions because we're going to cut these in half and then we'll quarter them up. And so you want good size pieces. So get you a nice size onion. Like I said, I'm using white and red. So we're going to cut the ends off like so. Cut both ends off. Now it's easy to quarter them up. And then you take the skin off. And then just cut in half, and then half again. Now take the individual quarters and cut them in half. And there you go. You got your pieces. See, nice size pieces like that. So let me continue cutting, and then we'll get to the peppers. This was great about cutting. See, you separate them. You just separate the layers of onions, and then with the really small ones like this, go ahead and set those to the side. Also, you can remove that first layer of onion because sometimes it's a thinner layer and kind of flimsy, as you can see there. So set those to the side, and you can dice those up, make salsa, what have you. But don't throw them away, but just set them to the side, use them for something else because you want the really good size pieces. Got my onions cut up. If you find some that are just too big for you that you think, just cut them in half again. You know, like I said, I like good sized pieces so that the meat kind of cradles in there. So got my white and red onions cut up now, and then like I said, the reserves with the really small pieces, just put them in a Ziploc bag, put them in the fridge, salsa, stir fry, whatever. So now let's get to the peppers. All right, so with the pepper, same thing. You want to cut off the ends. That one's kind of a small one, so I want to be very careful not to cut too much off. These, again, you can save compost. You can cut these up, again, and add to your onions and make stir fry salsa, what have you. Take out that center. Then same thing. Half, and then see if you like that size. If not, cut it in half again. And there you go. That's probably about a good size for the peppers. All right, so we are ready to start building our pinchos. We've got all our vegetables cut up. Our meat's ready. It's been sitting. It's room temperature. So we're going to go ahead and get them onto the skewers. So I found these skewers at a home store. I think Home to Home. I can't remember, but made by Ignite Bamboo. These are good. I like these because they have that little ridge there so nothing can slide off on the other end. Now with these skewers, you want to soak them in water for at least an hour. But one thing I learned from them was you can soak them in water for an hour, drain them, and then put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in your freezer. And then whenever you need skewers, they're ready to go. How great is that? So let's start building our pinchos. All right, so we're gonna start with the onion. I'm gonna go in the middle of it, like that. We'll get a red onion as well. Then we'll get a piece of meat. I'm starting with the pork. Same thing, cut right through the center of it. And go ahead and bring it all the way down. Now we'll get a yellow pepper. And then another piece of meat. Like so. Then we'll alternate. Get a little crazy, get funky with it. We'll put red and then a white. A third piece of meat. And then we'll finish it off with onion. Green pepper. And there you have a nice pincho. Set that to the side and continue building. I'm gonna get these ready and then we'll go on to the beef. And there you have it. All right, so I got the pork ones ready to go. Now we'll start on the beef. All right, now for the beef ones, I'm only gonna do red and white onions. The pork ones I did the peppers, but with the beef, I just want beef and onions. So let's get started. Same thing, right down the middle, and it broke on me. Right down the middle, let's try that again. Right down the middle, there we go. Get the red, and then a piece of meat, and then repeat. White, red, nice piece of meat. All right, we'll keep building these, and then we'll go outside and get our grill going. All right, got them all ready to go on the grill. First, we gotta heat it up. So let's take the party outside. But before we do that, I wanted to talk about the final topping to these pinchos. The way we do it in Puerto Rico is you top it off with some bread. You can use Cuban bread, Puerto Rican bread, but I love pan solao. It's a sweet, soft, pillowy bread. So we're gonna cut these up. Let me show you how. We'll cut these up, and that's what we'll top them off at the end. You'll see. Let's go outside and get the grill going. All right, so we're gonna set our temperature to 400 degrees, and then we'll get to grilling. All right, it's time to get these on the grill. All right, so these are gonna cook in here for about 15, 20 minutes. Every 5 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and spritz it with that mojo just to keep it moist and continue with the flavor. While we're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy me a cold one. All right, it's been the first 5 minutes. Ooh, wait, these are looking good. Let's go ahead and spritz them up. All right, let's get them up for another 5 minutes. All right, it's been another 5 minutes. Let's give it another spritz here. Ooh-wee. All right, putting it in for another 5 minutes. All right, it's been another 5 minutes. The steak ones are almost done. right, so pork just needs a little bit more. I'm gonna give it a quick 5 more minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and take the steak out, and then I'm gonna lower the pork down to this rack. All right, pork ones are finally done. So let's get them out, and we'll get to plating. All right, so here we go. We got them all plated up. Like I was telling you before, that bread on top, that is a key element in Puerto Rico when you're making pinchos, all right? So you gotta have that. I got some tostones chips here, and then the long strips, plantains, and I got my garlic sauce to dip it in. So let's go ahead and get a taste of this. Let me remove the bread real quick. Oh, this is the pork one. I'm gonna try that pork one first. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Tender, juicy. Oh my God, all that mojo flavor in there. Woo! That's so good. Take a piece of that bread, dip it in that garlic sauce like that. Woo! That's how you do it right there. All right, now for the steak. Look at that. Now remember, I use top sirloin. You can use whatever you like. Oh man, let's get it. Oh my God, look at that tender that is. Woo wee. Oh man. Mm, mm, mm. All right, now for the plantains. Dip it in that garlic sauce. I mean, look at this. Can't beat that. All right, folks. Listen, make sure your next tailgate, you got that on the menu. Till next time, eat well, my friends. Eat well.